I'm sorry, I'm encroaching probably into the duties of the standing committee of the NDDC, but we must have to, as a committee, be able to explore the remote and the immediate causes of oil theft. Me, I would not hesitate to tell you that the NDDC, the fallacies and shortfalls of the NDDC's statutory performance as an organization is contributing significantly to the problem of oil theft. If you guys can do the right thing, you take these boys off the street. The huge amount of money that is being made available to the agency, 13% derivative, the 3% cost of production, so many other things accrued to that. Because if you don't do the right thing, then simply you now give way for the criminal. You are giving them licenses to operate. And that is what they always say. I'm sorry, the language my friend here used was not only sentimental, it was inciting.
If you want to even travel to Nembe, you have to get to Yanagua and travel the same distance. So we have been able, by reason of that single road, been able to provide security, to intervene in any oil theft in that axis.
This road, hold on, this road that you are talking about, do you know that I can tell you how long it took NDDC to build that road? Do you know how long it took NDDC to build that road? I know the time frame that took NDDC to build that road you are talking about. 16 years, my brother. 16 years. Building 28-kilometer road. Whether it was you are making or not, is that the right thing to do? The duties of yours are not carried out judiciously and to the benefit of the people, then what the essence of the existence of the NDDC? Zero. So you must be able to also let us know, are you on duty? Not just on duty, are you doing the right thing? Because we are aware, some of us here are members. I was one time Vice Chairman, NDDC Committee.
Yes.
I served as Vice Chairman of this committee, NDDC Committee, the committee of the House that supervises the activities of the NDDC as an organization. Yes. And we are quite aware and conscious of some of the fallacies associated with the operations of this agency of government, a child and a baby of this institution. So what Sada Soli was simply trying to make out of your submissions is that to what extent could you be able to gauge your mileage in terms of effectively addressing or discharging your duties, your statutory duties. For as long as you guys are reneging, for as long as you guys don't do the right thing, you consider NDDC as simply like a retirement or interventionist body where people who retired either in public service or in politics will go back home and fall back on it. Then definitely you are not doing the right thing. I'm sorry, I'm encroaching probably into the duties of the standing committee of the NDDC, but we must have to, as a committee, be able to explore the remote and the immediate causes of oil theft. Me, I would not hesitate to tell you that the NDDC, the fallacies and shortfalls of the NDDC's statutory performance as an organization is contributing significantly to the problem of oil theft. If you guys can do the right thing, you take these boys off the street. The huge amount of money that is being made available to the agency, 13% derivative, the 3% cost of I'm sorry, the language my friend here used was not only sentimental, it was inciting. Because they are always guided by these feelings. Crude oil is being taken away from my backyard, and I cannot afford to take 3 square meals. This may sound funny, but it's genuine. You give out crude oil that sustains Nigeria's economy in your own backyard, and yet you sleep in hunger. I want to be very frank with you, my brother, the director of NDDC. You guys must have to sit back. Sit up. You have to sit up, sorry. You have to sit up to do your duties, because if you are actually discharging your duties appropriately and effectively, definitely a lot of these menaces will be mitigated. Not only mitigated, they will not be found anymore, because our kids, our youth on the street or in the creeks will now be gainfully engaged in one sector or another. Sorry, we are derailing actually into the jurisdiction of the main standing committee, but I have to actually open up this one to you, because we are also mandated with the powers of the House to explore remote and immediate causes of oil theft and bunkering in the Niger Delta. Please. So if you have any other questions, please.
Excuse me, sir.
Yeah.
What he's talking about I'm actually from Nembe myself. Since 1967, it has been on the drawing board of the federal government. It's NDDC, through collaboration with Shell, that achieved that project. Before, if you want to go to Nembe, you have to start from Nembe waterside in Port Harcourt and travel by boat. So the security agents are always afraid to go for any slight communal clash. If you want to even travel to Nembe, you have to get to Yanagua and travel the same distance. So we have been able, by reason of that single road, been able to provide security, to intervene in any oil theft in that axis. So if you want to say that you are going to do any pipeline vandalization around Nembe area, because of the road NDDC has provided, you will not go there, because the security operatives, both Army and Navy, can get there at any moment's notice. In fact, because there is a road established now, they are trying to establish an outpost in Nembe area that will also oversee the Brass area that does not have a road now. So our infrastructure is in itself is a major and cannot be undervalued in providing a solution to this oil theft. We have another project we are doing, the Oprika Borokiri Road. Infrastructure helps to give and bolster confidence to the security operatives to be able to fight oil theft. Because if you report that there is oil blowout in the flow station, the people went there to go and vandalize the wellhead. Who will go? Some of the boats that the Navy people have cannot even go on shallow waters. These people use canoes. When they get to that place, they carry the canoes on their head and run to the next creek. So the Navy people, when they get to the shallow water, they just reverse back. So when you intervene with infrastructure, it can never be underestimated. Infrastructure is the basic.
Sorry, my brother, I got the point you are making.
Yes.
And no one of us here is underrating probably what you are doing. Or nobody is saying. What I said is that, are you guys doing the right thing at the right time? This road, hold on, this road that you are talking about, do you know that I can tell you how long it took NDDC to build that road? You know how long it took NDDC to build that road? I know the time frame that took NDDC to build that road you are talking about. 16 years, my brother. 16 years. Building 28-kilometer road. Whether it was you are making or not, is that the right thing to do, my brother? If you have to take 16 years to build a 28-kilometer road, that job must be more. All the money. Yes, with all the money that is being made available to you, nobody is in any way probably trying to fix you in a difficult situation. But when we know things, when we know it, we have to let you know that there is need for you to sit up. That's just the issue. And as a ranking member of this institution, I also would not like to bedevil into jurisdictions that are not of this committee. But I had the opportunity to serve as a deputy chairman of the House Committee on Niger Delta Development Commission. And I have a lot of information. I have a lot of things in the treasure of my knowledge that what is actually happening in NDDC. And now that you have fallen under the scope of work of this committee, and we feel your statutory duties could help us mitigate or eradicate oil theft and bunkering, we must have to bring to the fore some of these issues that are associated with the institution of operation, which is the NDDC. The law was enacted in good faith. The agency was established by previous government in good faith. Then we must not allow that good intent of the government of the Federal Republic of Nigeria be taken for granted. Please.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
You are done. No, you are done, please. Can you please? An economy like our own, which is largely till today depending on oil as a major substrate, major base for our economic functions and even for financing public services and infrastructure, cannot continue with this kind of serious challenge in the oil and gas sector.
We've also seen inadequate implementation of international best practices. It's one thing to say that this is what we do. The other thing, of course, is it being implemented by various agencies or various stakeholders?
There are cases that, oil theft cases that have gone on for over 10 years, some much longer than that, and then sometimes again, from the Court of First Instance, you see it running to appeal and then Court of Appeal and then to Supreme Court, So this also affects a lot in conclusion of the cases. So if we do have special courts, but not just specifically to issues of oil theft, but more broadly to the things that we do in terms of economic and financial crimes, this would also go a long way in assisting at the work that we do.
Whatever crude you took from my backyard, refined in Europe, stops in Port Harcourt. It doesn't get to Bonny, it doesn't get to Krika, it doesn't get to Buguma. That was the reason the NMPCL, lofty ideas, fantastic initiative, introduced the floating jetty, those floating filling stations rather, to make to make PMS available for those communities. Now they don't have product in the past 10 years.
Question.
What happens now, sir, is that?
And also is meant to underscore some of the excesses of our youth over there, and to see how government can be able to cushion the effect of some of these hardships arising from the process of oil production, exploration, and all sorts kind of things in the area of oil and gas sector. Reason why I said yours might be more critical is the fact that you should be able, as people staying there, working there, and coming also from them, like you rightly started, I've heard you doing that, you are more likely to offer us on ground insights, so that at the end we should be able to know where the shoe is actually pinching. So I hope you will still be patient with us and take a few questions from members, which I believe.
Do you think we need a special court to try cases related to crude oil theft? The reason I ask is this: I know how you struggle because of the judicial system to get judgment and the delays that follow. Now, each time you confiscate a vessel, for instance, the Navy, I'm speaking from experience now, will bet those vessels along the shorelines of the Niger Delta, including Bonny. I see a lot of them there. Now, because of the time it takes for you to get judgments on those evidences on the high sea, some of them lose value, some of them even constitute environmental hazards. They decay on the sea and begin to rot there. So that's why I'm asking for speedy delivery of justice. Do you think that we need a special court to try cases related to oil theft? Thank you.
I'm happy when you mentioned that you identify about 13,000, am I right, communities? Are you in touch with these 13,000 communities? Are you in touch with these 13,000 communities? Okay, fine.
Yes, sir.
Fine. What are the socio-economic services that you have provided that will serve as an alternative for economic opportunities that will douse the issue of oil theft in this 13,000? What are those social economic conditions that you have provided that will definitely bring down the episodes of this oil theft? Because certainly it's because of the absence of some socio-economic activities. Certainly the absence of socio-economic activities to this youth is another factor. And you can imagine 13,000 communities. You can imagine 13,000 communities. Which of the communities out of these 13,000 communities that you have provided this and that eradicated oil theft? Thank you, Mr. Chairman.